Okay, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone. And today we are going to talk about good leadership versus a bad leadership. Our group integrants are Alfonso, Ariel, Brian, Guilherme, Jonathan, that's me, and Cizenando. Instead of only choosing one topic of leadership, we have chosen several cases where we have seen a lack of leadership or no leadership at all. Then which of which of the integrants are going to say what a good leadership is expected to do in those situations. And then in the end, we are going to say the essential qualities of a leader according to each integrant. I want to say a quote from William Arthur Wood that says that leadership is based on inspiration, not domination, on cooperation, not intimidation. It means that if you not inspire people, if you not get them to cooperate, if you're not an example to them, you're not a leader. You are just a boss. Now let's start with our first case, Brian.
Thank you, Jonathan. A lack of courage and maturity. What Trump has done. Low 2020 states that Trump has been evading blame and claiming glory. He's also distorting to his favor. If something went good, it was about him. If something went bad, it was about the previous administration. So Zenando, what would a good leader do?
So basically, Brian, a good leader would always try to display courage when facing difficult situations. So, for instance, in this case, Trump didn't listen to the health experts from the U.S. and from overseas as well, and he didn't have the courage really to take difficult decisions in order to keep the U.S. population safer and away from the virus. So basically, Trump didn't have the courage to act without fear in face of a difficult situation. And another thing is related to his maturity, which a good leader is mature and he thinks thoroughly when he must take important decision. And in this case, Trump didn't do it either. So basically, he just avoided the blame, as you said, and he didn't really take the steps with his staff to reach a good decision, to act in advance and prevent this whole situation.
Thank you, says Nando. Lack of morality. McKay 2020 states that Trump is requiring governors of American states to do him political favors through endorsing his actions to the crisis on television in exchange for federal aid. Ariel, would a good leader do this? And if not, what would a good leader do?
Okay, Brian. So in this example, we can say that morality and ethics walk side by side, right? And every leader decision can be biased by his intuition and feelings. In this case, the politicization of the crisis for political benefits shows the obvious intention for Trump. His goal is to gain support. There is regarding what could happen in the opponent states. It's a total lack of moral compass. I think we can stand further this assumption saying that the leader like him likes to operate through fear to withhold power. In fact, Bob Woodward has pointed out in his book about Trump that his belief in real power is to run through fear. A good leader, on the opposite hand, would compromise with any team members, pro and against him, because a real leader would display that the common good or the post-conventional morality is the highest level anyone can achieve. It is above personal self-interest and it is independent too.
Thank you, Ariel. A lack of example. Perez 2020 writes that Trump and his administration are advising the population to practice social distancing to avoid gatherings, but they are not setting a good example. Alfonso, would a good leader do this? If not, what would a good leader do?
According to the picture, well, it was taken in March 19, and at that moment, USA had almost 10,000 cases of COVID. As you can see, they are talking about the suggestions to do stay 2 meters from other people and to not gather in groups to avoid the spreading of the virus. But they are almost 19 people in the picture and almost in less than 1 meter between each other. So they are not being an example to the population. So at the end, a good leader should always lead by example, and they must realize that they are the face of whatever they are trying to represent, and their behavior will be closely associated with whatever they are representing or trying to get across.
Thank you, Alfonso. Exposing the population to risk. The other day, there was a situation where the US confiscated masks and other PPEs, PPE being personal protective equipment for the nurses and the frontline staff of the health system. Justin Trudeau also stated that blocking the export of these critical items could lead to problems for the US between Canada and other countries. Guilherme, was Trump right doing this? And if not, what would a good leader do?
Now, it is clear that this was not the right thing to do. In this case, Trump's actions backfired due to the way he prioritized his country and showed no importance to other countries, even considering that they are allies. Actions like this will draw other countries away, and once exposed, will show the people that there is a clear risk to the population. By the time this happened and spread in the media, people got a clear view of what is Trump's position during this difficult time, and that this is not what a leader is supposed to do. A leader should inspire others through positivity and not self-interest, and also show that he's passionate about finding a solution that will benefit all, and not an action that will benefit just a small portion of the population or his own country. This also shows how he's focused on economy and not the public health. As Landers stated, 2020, these are opposite actions of what a leader should be doing. In order to inspire, a good example, Trump could have acted sooner and locked down the country to avoid the spread of the virus. This is one of the first actions he should have taken, as well as not blocking the export of masks to Canada and Latin America. And these are examples of actions from a leader that care about not exposing the population to risk, and eventually this will inspire others to follow through positivity.
Thank you, Guilherme. And now over to Jonathan.
Okay, and here we have the essential qualities of a leader according to each integrant of our group. Me, transparency and empathy. Alfonso, visionary and reliable. Cizinando, curious and courage. Ariel said, authority and coaching. Brian, morality and honesty. Guilherme, inspiration and positivity. As a conclusion, I want to be clear that we are not picking any political side, and we just want to state that leadership also serves the purpose of reassuring vulnerable people that someone is on their side. Thanks so much for watching us.